Welcome to today's episode of Real Estate in Kenya. My name is Sarah Wahogo, CEO at Username Investment Limited. Today we are joined by our company advocate, Mr. Wanjohi Gishango. And as usual, we will be breaking complex legal matters so that you, our viewer, can get to understand and can get to make better decisions. Today's topic is land use and change of land use in Kenya. Karibu Akili.
Thank you very much.
What is land use?
You will find that when you own land, the use of that land is restricted either by the title or by the locality of the land. So that if your land, for instance, is in industrial area, most likely the use of that land is for industrial purposes. You may also find that you have parcel of land in the rural areas. The use of that land is again based on the locality. It's agricultural land. There might also be a restriction on the use of the land mentioned on the title, especially when it is a leasehold title. And you get a lease from the government will tell you, we have granted you a lease for 99 years. The use of land is commercial, residential, industrial, or agricultural. So that is what it is meant by land use.
And what is change of land use?
Now,
change of use.
Change of use is now conversion of the land use from one category to the other. So you will find that, for instance, where the land has been previously agricultural land and you want to develop residential flats or a residential building, now you will be converting the use of land from agricultural to residential. You might have gotten a lease for 99 years for industrial purposes, and then you are no longer able to build that industry, or again you intend to change use of that land from, for instance, industrial to residential. Now you will again have to convert that through the process of change of use.
You've mentioned types of land use, yes. And you mentioned agricultural.
Yes, there is agricultural, there is residential, industrial, commercial, for instance, commercial buildings. There are also wildlife conservancies, whereby you may want to use your land as a wildlife conservancy, and therefore you will convert it from the user that is described on the title or on the locality to a wildlife conservancy. There are several instances on which land can be used.
Wow. If you want to change your use of land,
yes.
If you want to do change of use,
yes.
What is the process?
The process is provided for in the law. There is the Physical Land Use and Planning Act of 2019, and basically this is the law that guides the process of converting the use of land from one category to the other. First, it is important to note that this is a function of the county government. Land planning is therefore managed by county governments, and any application for change of use of land is to be made to the county government's Department of Physical Planning. And once you make that application, there are prescribed forms that you use under the Act. And you will there are documents required to support your application. For instance, you will be required to support your application with the title, survey plans, and you will also be required to conduct an environment impact assessment and therefore get an EMA license. And once you have met all the conditions and the requirements are set by the county government and the Physical Land Use and Planning Act, then your application is assessed. And if it meets the criteria for the change of use of land, then you are granted the approval.
Okay.
Yes.
Very clear. And I know you've mentioned some of the offices involved.
Yes.
Maybe you can just recap for us the specific offices.
The offices required is, first of all, there is the physical planning department of the county government within which your land falls, because that is where you start by making your application. Then there is NEMA, National Environmental Management Authority, because you will be required to undertake an environment assessment, impact assessment, and NEMA will do that and grant you a license, a NEMA license. There is the Department of Survey, where you, if in case you are undertaking subdivision of land, you must go through the Department of Survey. The fourth office is the Office of the Land Registrar, so that you will find in some instances where, especially where the land is a lease, okay, upon you getting a change of user, you must also get a new lease now specifying the use of that land. If your land was previously agricultural and you are converting to residential, now you will get a new lease indicating that the use of land is now residential. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a viewer who is watching us today,
Yes.
and they want to do the change of use for their property,
Yes.
what challenges should they expect?
The first challenge is time, because you are dealing with multiple government offices, and you are also dealing with a number of professionals. You must involve a physical planner, you must involve an environmental auditor, a surveyor, and an advocate. So on the lower side, from my experience, it takes 6 months. It's a process that can go up to 1 year. The second challenge is the cost. It is not cheap to undertake the process of change of user, especially when the development is considerably big or substantial. There is also the challenge of the public within where your project is situated, or within where the land whose use you intend to convert from one use to another. Remember, the law also requires you to undertake public participation, and you might face objections from the members of the public or the locality within which your project is located. So those are the three main challenges. But again, there is established a committee within the county government departments of physical planning, again, to address any issues or any disputes that may arise along the way, whether it is now objections by the public, or where the county government refuses to grant you the license, or any other person objecting to your development. There is a dispute resolution mechanism that sits to assess the grievances and come up with a resolution or an award or a decision on the way forward.
Yeah, very informative. We have come to the end of the session. Viewers, I believe that you're better placed to make some of these decisions, and in case of a dispute, you also know what options that you have. Thank you so much, Wakili. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, viewers, for watching today's episode of Real Estate in Kenya. See you in our next video.